Welcome to our explainer on demystifying WordPress. Consider this the ultimate blueprint to your new digital house. Look, if you've ever wanted to build a web presence entirely from scratch, but the thought of writing a single line of code completely terrifies you, well, you are in exactly the right place. So let's just jump right in. Okay, get this. Over 40% of all websites on the entire internet run on just one single platform, and that's WordPress. I mean, just think about that sheer scale for a second. We're talking about everything from your small local mom and pop shops and independent bloggers, all the way up to massive global organizations like Time Magazine and Disney. So you aren't just learning some obscure niche piece of software today. No, you're learning an incredibly practical, universally recognized skill that literally powers nearly half of the modern web. Now, you might be wondering, if it runs half the internet, isn't it going to be incredibly complex? Actually, no, not at all. The real magic of this platform boils down to one very simple philosophy: clicks, not code. At its core, WordPress is a content management system that's built entirely around a visual interface. Yes, behind the scenes, it obviously uses code to operate, but the beauty is you never actually have to deal with it. You can add new pages, upload your images, and completely transform your site's design just by clicking around some really intuitive menus. To make this a bit more tangible, I want you to think about what you actually want to build right now. A functional site for a local plumber with a handy little booking calendar? Easy. How about a personal travel blog to document your adventures? Done. A robust online shop, or maybe a sleek photography portfolio? You can absolutely do all of that. So keep your specific vision in mind as we map out how these pieces actually fit together. Let's think about this like building a physical house. Doing it the old way, that means mixing cement and laying bricks by hand, one by one. And honestly, that is exactly what manually coding a website feels like. It's intimidating, it's slow, and it is highly technical. But WordPress? Well, WordPress is kind of like having pre-built walls, ready-made doors, and perfectly installed windows delivered right to your empty lot. Your only job is to just assemble those pieces in a way that perfectly suits your vision. Okay, so any website relies on three main components. Sticking with our house metaphor here, the very first piece is your domain name. This is simply your website's address on the internet. Just like a friend needs your street address to come visit your physical house, your visitors need your domain, like yoursite.com, to actually locate your digital property out there in the vast online landscape. Right, so the second piece is web hosting. If the domain is your address, your hosting is the actual plot of digital land where your website lives. It's basically the server space you rent out to securely hold your images, your blog posts, and all your files, making sure they are accessible to the entire world 24/7. So, where does the software actually fit into all of this? Well, if the domain is your address and hosting is your plot of land, WordPress is the house itself. It's the physical structure that you construct on your newly rented land. It's where you invite your guests to come inside and take a look around. Installing it gives you the walls, the rooms, and the roof. And from there, you get to do the fun part, decorating. But here is where we hit a major crossroads. And honestly, guys, this is one of the most common beginner traps out there. You're super excited, you're ready to start building, you search the name, and suddenly you realize, wait, there are two entirely different platforms sharing the exact same name, WordPress.org and WordPress.com. It is so incredibly easy to assume they're just the exact same thing. But they're not. They are vastly different tools with completely different sets of roles. And choosing the wrong one right now, yeah, that can cause some major headaches down the road. Let's break them down so you know exactly what's what. First up is WordPress.org, which is very often referred to as self-hosted WordPress. This is the home of the free open source software. When you hear people raving about the limitless power of WordPress, this is the one they mean. The absolute biggest advantage here is control, 100% control. You can install custom themes to change your site's appearance and use powerful plugins to visually design literally everything. But of course, there's a trade-off for all this ultimate freedom. You are going to be responsible for your own technical maintenance, like doing updates and running backups, and as we mentioned earlier, you have to secure your own hosting land. Now, despite needing to manage your own hosting, the self-hosted route is incredibly accessible. Because the open source software itself is completely free, there are really only two unavoidable costs you need to worry about to get started: renting your web hosting and registering your domain name. On the lower end of things, basic hosting and a domain will probably run you around, say, $70 a year total. And for that highly accessible price tag, you unlock the full flexibility of the entire WordPress ecosystem, with absolutely zero arbitrary limitations holding you back. On the flip side, we have WordPress.com. Now, this is a for-profit company offering a highly simplified all-in-one package. hosting and security, they're baked right in, and they handle all that pesky technical maintenance for you. Sounds great, right? But to achieve that hands-off simplicity, you are sacrificing a massive amount of freedom. You're subject to their specific terms of service, and this is crucial. On their free or cheaper plans, you are completely blocked from installing any custom themes or your own plugins. So, let's say you decide you really want that convenience, but you still want the ability to install powerful plugins, like, say, a visual page builder to make designing easier. Well, you'd have to upgrade to their business plan. And here is where the math really shifts on us. That business plan, it starts at around $300 per year. So basically, you're paying a pretty significant premium just for them to handle the hosting and security, while finally unlocking the exact same core flexibility that you get right out of the box with the open source version. When we put these two paths head-to-head like this, the choice becomes remarkably clear. The self-hosted route gives you absolute, total flexibility for around $70 a year, provided you don't mind getting your hands a little dirty handling your own updates. But to get that same level of flexibility on WordPress.com without the maintenance hassle, you're looking at paying a steep premium of about $300 a year. So for most creators out there who want to keep their costs low and fiercely preserve their creative freedom, self-hosting is, for sure, the definitive winner. So, there you have it. You now hold the blueprint. You understand the difference between your digital address, your plot of land, and your actual house. And more importantly, you know how to dodge those expensive traps that catch so many beginners off guard. With WordPress currently powering over 40% of the web, the tools for absolute creative freedom are quite literally already at your fingertips. The only real question left is, are you going to claim your own digital land, or are you going to let someone else build the house for you?